Okay, this is kind of a vulnerable thing here. When I was growing up, my dad and I liked to argue a lot. We could argue about something for hours. Then I went off to college. I really grew my relationship with Jesus, and I remember there was a priest who gave a homily on honoring your mother and father. And one of the things that he had said that really stuck with me was that God is trying to teach us how to follow his authority by submitting ourselves to the authority of our parents, even if it doesn't make sense to us. As long as it's not sin, you should submit to that and practice obedience as a way of growing in obedience to the Lord. There was this one particular day where my dad and I were having this kind of heated discussion, and I thought, oh, this is one of those moments. And in the middle of arguing, I just stopped and I said, okay, Dad, I've told you what I think about this, and if you really think that this is the right decision, I will be obedient to your decision out of respect and honor for you as my father and as my parent. And my dad just kind of like stopped in his tracks. He was really hesitant and didn't really believe it at first. And I was just like, no, like I told you how I feel and I will do this. I will do this because you're telling me to do this. And I remember my dad saying years later, because he's like a humble, amazing person, he knew that something had really changed in me when this moment happened, that I was different, that there was something different about me. And I will say that there were times later in my life where I felt like things were happening that I would just argue with God and just tell him, like, no, this should not happen this way. I don't understand it. But being in those situations felt familiar because I'd been practicing that with my mom and dad. This trained me in a different way. I was trying to get closer to Jesus by honoring and respecting my parents' authority when it was difficult. Honoring our mother and father trains us to be sensitive to God's plan for our lives and to follow it and act even when it's difficult. Because truly, we honor God when we honor our father and mother.